faster this time. Okay, so let's start. Let's start first of all with the definition of the accounting equation. So I'm sure everyone is able to recall that accounting equation is what? What does accounting equation indicate? Anybody able to recall that? Accounting equation is a mathematical expression that shows the total asset and total liabilities of a firm are equal. Right. So as for the accounting equation, total asset of the company and the total liability of the company is equal. Now, keeping that in mind, let's move to the next slide. It says through accounting equation, what is the purpose of preparing the accounting equation? Purpose is to identify how a business transaction is affecting the asset and liability. So if we want to determine how a particular business transaction is impacting the assets of the organization, asset of the company, and how it is impacting the liabilities, so for that purpose, we can make the accounting equation. So through accounting equation, one will be in a position to identify the effect of any business transaction upon the asset and liability. As I told you, according to accounting equation, or basically accounting equation, what does it indicate? It indicates that the total asset and liability of a firm are equal. So keeping that in mind, we can write down the equation of the accounting equation as total asset of the company is equal to total claims. Total claim is nothing but the total liability, right? So total asset can be written as the current asset or non-current asset, and total claims means liability plus capital. All right, and so basically accounting equation is asset equal to liability plus capital. Got it? Is it clear, everybody? Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, taking this formula as a basis, we can find out the liability. We can make the formula for finding out the liability as well. So for finding out the liability, what we can do, if we simply subtract the amount of capital from the asset, we will get the value of the liability. And similarly, if we want to determine the value of the capital, so in that case, we just have to subtract the liability out of the asset, we will get the value of the capital. So basically, you have to remember this equation. Basic equation is asset equal to liability plus capital. And all the questions that we'll be doing, most of the questions will be based on this particular equation. Okay. Now, but before starting with a question based on accounting equation, let's first of all understand that every transaction that takes place in a business have two impacts, right? It is going to affect two items of the balance sheet at the same time. So an accounting equation is based on the dual aspect concept of accounting, which means every transaction have two aspects, that is debit and credit. This can also be interpreted as every transaction affect at least two areas of business. At least, I'm not saying that it will only be affecting only two things in the business. It will be at least affecting two items, two areas of the business. Why? Because accounting equation is based on the dual aspect concept. Now, let's take few examples and try to identify how these transaction is going to affect the what is the effect of this particular transaction. Now, if we talk about let's take an example that we have purchased goods and business for rupees 10,000. Let's assume that there is a company. That company have purchased goods costing 10,000. So my question is that how this particular business transaction is going to affect the business. The answer is firstly, see, because we are purchasing goods, so it will be reducing the amount of cash by 10,000, and at the same time, it will also increase the goods for the company, right? So reduction in cash 10,000 means there is a reduction in the value of the asset by way of cash. On the other hand, there is increase in the value of the goods, and I am sure everybody knows that goods falls under the category of the asset, right? So because of this transaction, cash is getting affected and goods at the same time is also getting affected. That is what I was telling you, that every business transaction at least have two impacts. So this transaction is affecting two areas of business, cash as well as goods. Now, both fall under the category of the asset. Cash, because of this transaction, asset is reducing by way of cash, and at the same time, asset is also increasing by way of goods. All right. And you have to keep this in mind as well, that if I'm saying that a particular transaction always affects two areas, or every transaction have two aspects, it does not mean that it is going to affect the asset and liability at the same time. It could be asset and liability. It could be liability. Both the aspect could be liability. Or the third possibility is one item will be of asset category and the other could be of the liability category. So the thing is that a particular transaction may affect at least two areas. That area could be in relation to the asset, or it could be related to asset as well as liability. It could be related to liability and liability. Okay. Moving to the next example. Purchase of goods for rupees 20,000 on credit from Anju. Now, any one of you please tell me how this transaction will affect the business. What will be the impact or the effect of this transaction? Anyone? When we purchase good on credit from Anju, how it is going to affect?
So goods will increase and creditors will increase.
Yes, goods will increase, and at the same time, creditors by way of Anju, by the name of Anju in hand, it will also increase. So increase in goods means there is an increase in the value of the asset, and increase in liability. Why? Because we have bought the goods on credit, so there will be increase in the value of the liability as well. So goods is increasing, creditors are also increasing. Okay. Taking the third example, bought furniture for rupees 40,000. This will be affecting, assuming that it has been bought for cash. So this transaction will be affecting the cash as well as the value of the asset by way of furniture. So it will reduce the amount of cash. That means there is a reduction in the value of the asset. On the other hand, it will also increase the value of the furniture at the same time. So there is an increase in the value of the asset. So asset is reducing on the one hand, and on the other hand, there is an increase in the value of the asset as well. Next example, let's suppose we have sold goods for rupees 50,000. If nothing is mentioned, we will presume that goods has been sold for cash. So this transaction will be impacting the amount of goods and the cash as well, right? So because of this transaction, cash will increase because they are selling goods for rupees 50,000. That means there will be increment in cash by 50,000, and at the same time, since we have sold goods, so there is going to be reduction in the value of the goods. So on the one hand, asset is decreasing by way of goods. On the other hand, cash is increasing, that is asset is increasing by way of cash. Got it, everyone? Is this clear to all of you? Everyone is able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but any one of you having any problem, please let me know so that I can explain it in detail. I'm presuming that all of you have already covered this chapter, so you already have some idea about the accounting equation. That's why my pace is a little faster. I'm just moving in a faster pace. But if anyone want me to explain it in detail, we can do that as well. Moving to the next example. Goods purchased for rupees 10,000 on cash and 5,000 on credit. So in this transaction, total goods of 15,000 has been purchased. 10,000 goods costing 10,000 has been purchased on cash, and remaining 5,000 has been bought on credit. So this transaction will be affecting three areas of business. Firstly, since we have bought goods for rupees 15,000, so amount of goods will increase by 15,000. That means there will be increase in the value of the asset by way of goods. On the other hand, cash will reduce by 10,000 because we have bought goods for cash costing 10,000, and as well as creditor by 5,000 will also increase. So this is going to affect three areas: cash, goods, and creditor. So cash is reducing, that means asset is reducing. Goods are increasing 15,000. Creditor is a liability, obviously, so it is also increasing. Got it, everyone? Moving to the next item, next example, open a bank account and deposit 1,000 in a bank. So, presuming that when we have opened a bank account, we have deposited cash there. All right. So that means if we open a bank account by the name of company, by the name of business, so it will increase the overall bank balance of the business, and at the same time, it will also reduce the cash by 1,000. So cash will reduce and bank will increase by 1,000. And both falls under the category of the asset. So on the one hand, cash is reducing, that means asset is reducing, but on the other hand, asset is increasing by way of bank. I hope this is clear, everyone. So since everything is clear, we will now move to the question. But before that, one more small point, just to make it just so that when we solve the question, we won't face any kind of problem. You have to remember this. Owner's equity increases with revenue. It means whenever a business earns profit, amount of capital increases. Whenever business earns profit, profit belongs to the owner of the business. All right. So therefore, the amount of capital invested by the owner of the business increases. And if further investment is made by the owner of the business, that also leads to the increase in the amount of capital. All right. So capital belongs to owner, which is also called owner's equity. It increases when firm generates profit. It also increases when further investment is made by the owner of the business. Okay. But on the other hand, whenever there are expenses incurred in the business, there will be reduction in the value of the capital. Expenses cause decline in the capital. Just like revenue increases the capital for the owner. On the other hand, expenses reduces the capital. And also, if owner withdraws some amount from the business for its personal use, there will be reduction in the value of the capital. So to summarize these 4 points, we can say the capital increases whenever there is increase in revenue, that is, firm generates profit, or whenever the owner makes further investment. On the other hand, capital reduces whenever there is decrease in expenses, as well as whenever owner of the business withdraws some amount from the business for its personal use. All right. Now, keeping that in mind, let's take few more examples. Like, let's suppose there is an expense of 25,000 by way of rent. So paid rent of rupees 25,000. So this is obviously an expense now. Keep that in mind. Whenever the expense is incurred, amount of capital will reduce. So firstly, because rent is being paid, so it will affect two areas. Number one, cash will reduce and amount of rent obligation will also reduce. So cash falls under the category of the asset, and because rent is an expense, so payment of rent will cause the reduction in the value of the capital. Got it? Is it clear, everyone? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So next point, cash withdrawn from cash withdrawn rupees 10,000 from bank. Again, since cash is withdrawn from bank, and it is nowhere mentioned that it has been withdrawn for personal use. So we have to presume that it has been withdrawn for the business purpose only, because nothing is mentioned now. Firstly, because cash is withdrawn, so amount of cash balance with the of the company will increase. Overall cash of the business will increase, and bank will reduce by 10,000. Okay. If cash is withdrawn from the bank account, the overall bank balance will reduce by 10,000. But at the same time, cash available with the business will increase by 10,000. Okay. Now, bank provided interest 3,000. Now see, provision of interest is a revenue for the business. If bank provide interest, it is considered as a revenue for the business. Obviously, when bank provide interest of rupees 3,000, because of this particular event, overall bank balance will increase by 10,000 because interest provided by the bank will directly credited to the bank account itself. So overall bank balance will increase by 3,000. But on the other hand, our revenue will also increase by 3,000. Bank interest is what? Bank interest is a revenue. Now let's talk about the impact upon the asset and liability. So because the bank balance is increasing by 3,000, that means there will be increase in the value of the asset by 3,000. On the other hand, because bank interest is considered as a revenue, so this is going to increase the overall capital of the owner as well. Why? Because revenue increases the capital. All right, everyone. So since we have understood how a business transaction impact the various aspects of the business, now let's do a full-fledged question. Just a second. We will start with this small question. We won't be doing this. Okay, we'll start with question number 2. All right. I'll be doing this for you, and I'll be giving you the next question to try. So just for the revision purpose, I'm solving this second question. If anyone have any difficulty understanding anything, do let me know. Okay, just a second, give me a moment. Okay, so question want us to show the accounting equation for the following transaction. Statement showing accounting equation. All of you remember the format of the accounting equation statement. All of you remember the format of the statement. First of all, we start with the serial number of the transaction, then the name of the transaction conducted, and then its effect upon the asset and liabilities. Asset equals to liabilities plus capital. I'm sure everybody remember the form. Okay. Now let's talk about the first information given in the question. It says Gopinath started business with cash. Now, any one of you please tell me how this particular transaction will affect the asset, liability, or capital. Gopinath started business with cash. All right. Can any one of you please tell me how it is going to affect the business? Firstly, I think because
So assets
cash
will
is being
increase and capital will increase. I mean,
yes,
cash
asset will increase by the name of cash, right? Cash. And at the same time, capital will also increase by 25,000. So 25,000 under the asset by way of cash and 25,000 under the capital letter. All right. Now, next item is purchased goods from Shyam. Purchased goods from Shyam. Tell me how it is going to affect.
So goods will increase and creditors will increase.
Yes. So there will be increase in the value of the asset by way of goods. So we'll write down the amount beneath the value of the goods. Goods will increase by 10,000. And since the name of the supplier is given, that means we must have bought the goods on credit. So we'll go under the liability and write down the amount here by way of creditor. So creditors will increase by 10,000. All right. Now, we'll total it. So total amount will be 25,000 by way of cash, 10,000 by way of goods. That's 10,000. On the other hand, we have the liability of 10,000 and 25,000 by way of capital. And totaling both the sides, we should be getting the same value. And yeah, we are getting the same value on both sides. In fact, let me draw a line here. All right, is it clear, everyone? Now moving to the third item given in the question. Third item given in the question was sold goods to Sohan costing 1,800 at rupees 1,500. So that means we have sold goods on a loss of 300. Is that right? Everybody is able to understand this point. We sold goods to Sohan. That means we are selling goods to Sohan on credit. Since the name of the consumer is given, name of the buyer is given, so we will be presuming that it must have been sold on credit basis. Sold goods to Sohan for rupees 1,800, or for 1,500 costing 1,800. So sold goods to Sohan. Now tell me the impact of this particular transaction. It will reduce the amount of goods by what amount? Tell me quickly. It is going to reduce the amount of goods by what amount? 1,800 or 1,500? Tell me everyone. 1,800. Right? That is correct. Okay, and we are selling it for rupees 1,500, and we must be selling it on credit. So that means there will be increase in the value of the debtor by 1,500. Debtors will increase by 1,500. You understand that? There will be increase in the value of the debtor by 1,500. Understood, everyone? Now the thing is that
yes, sir.
There is a loss. Goods costing 1,800 has been sold on 1,500, so there is a loss of 300. That loss will affect what? Tell me.
Capital.
The loss will be, yes, it will be affecting the capital. So amount of capital will be subtracted by 300. Got it? Now we'll make a new equation. So after third transaction, the total amount of cash will be 25,000, but the total amount of inventory or goods will be 8,200 only. But at the same time, there will be increase in the value of the asset by way of debtors, 1,500. On the other side of the equation, we will have creditor 10,000 plus. Now the capital will reduce by 300, so the total liability, total capital will be 24,700. Understood? Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now one last transaction is also there, fourth one, which says Gopinath withdrew from business 5,000. So Gopinath is who? Gopinath is the owner of the business, right? Proprietor of the business. Gopinath is withdrawing, And if nothing is mentioned, we'll presume that Gopinath must be withdrawing it for personal use. Withdrew from business 5,000. So when he will withdraw 5,000 from business, is it going to affect the availability of cash? Answer is yes. Cash will
Yes,
reduce
sir.
by 5,000. And at the same time, capital will also reduce by 5,000. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So ultimately, final equation will be 25,000 minus 5,000 will be 20,000. Cash will be 20,000. Plus, we will have the value of the goods 8,200 plus 1,500 of debtors, and creditor is 10,000 plus this will be 19,700. Got it? Now, to prove our point that asset is, as per the accounting equation, asset and liability both are equal. So let me prove that. As per accounting equation, total assets should be equal to liabilities plus capital. So adding 20,000 plus 8,200 plus 1,500 equals to 10,000 plus 19,700. We should be getting 29,700 on the asset side as well. Yes, we are getting 29,700. So this is the answer, and this answer is right by because we are getting on both side of the accounting equation, we are getting the same value. So this proves that we have got the right answer. We did it correctly. All right. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Zainab and Labiba, done? Clear? Okay. Now I'm moving to the next. Okay, good. So question number 3. Okay, I want all of you to try this question. Try this question, everyone. And if anyone have any difficulty solving it, do let me know. I'm waiting for you to finish. I'm presuming that you will be able to do it in 10 minutes. So I am allowing you 10 minutes to solve this question. Done, everyone? Vanisha, Ritika, Zainab, and Labib. All of you are still doing?
So last one.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, tell me.
so I have doubt in the last one, sir. Last transaction.
Last transaction. It says in the last transaction, it says he also borrowed 30,000 from bank for business. So borrowing from bank for business purpose. All right. So this is going to increase the liability as well as increase the amount of cash. Got it?
Yes,
Because
sir.
business is borrowing from the bank. So firstly, bank balance, or you can say the cash, overall cash balance will increase, number one. And on the other hand, liability by way of credit, by way of loan, in fact, it will also increase by 30,000. I hope this is clear now.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Just tell me the final value, final equation.
So done.
Done, okay. Looks done. Anyone else have also completed it? Tell me the final answer.
Yes, sir. So 82,000 plus
Mhm.
20,000 plus
82,000, why?
20,000.
Why it's 82,000? Sorry. Why it will be 82,000?
So cash.
Cash, okay. Also, in the last transaction, you have added 30,000 in the cash, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just make a correction. See, when amount is borrowed from the bank open a bank account and transfer the entire loan amount to the bank itself. So when amount is borrowed from bank overall bank balance will increase by 30,000. So instead of adding the amount under the cash, you should write 30,000 by your bank and increase the overall bank balance. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let me show you. This is how it will be. It can be presented. See, this is the equation. In the focus upon the last entry, last transaction, seventh one. In the seventh transaction, what is happening? I've added 30,000 in the bank balance. Earlier, bank balance was 20,000. I've added 30,000 in it. On the right hand side of the equation, there is a liability by way of loan has been added, and so just under that, we have added 30,000 in it. Now, totaling both the side of the equation, we have on the asset side cash balance of 52,000, bank 50,000, furniture 10,000, goods 10,000. On the other hand, liability that is by way of loan 30,000 and the amount of capital is 92,000. So 92 plus 30,000 will be 1,22,000. And totaling the 52 plus 50 plus 10 and plus 10,000, we will also get 1,20,000 on the asset side. Got it? Is this clear to you now? And is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Kindly confirm. Okay. All right. So this is how we solve question based on the accounting question. Now let's do one more question just for the purpose of revision. Let's also do. And if you remember, we have certain few special transaction like transaction in respect of payment and of outstanding expenses, transaction relating to advance payment or receipt and accrued income. So we'll do one question based on that as well. Okay. Try solving this question. Prepare the accounting equation from the following transaction given below. We started business with a cash of 40,000, paid salary in advance 5,000, prepaid insurance 1,000, commission received in advance 6,000. If anyone of you want the PowerPoint of this chapter, just let me know so that I can share the PowerPoint of this chapter with you. This PowerPoint
Yes, sir.
have most of the questions that we have discussed in the class is there, right? All the questions are there and all the theoretical explanation is also there. And for some questions, we have solutions as well in this PowerPoint. So I'll share this PowerPoint with you. I'll share it with your counselor and he will be sharing it with you. I'll ask him to share with all the students. And make sure you revise this topic on your own. Since we have already completed these chapters, it will be easier for you to give a quick recap. All right, so make sure that before attending class, you just go through the PowerPoint and everything. Just try to revise on your own. And if you have difficulty solving any question, and try to ask those questions in the revisionary sessions. If anyone having any problem solving it, just let me know. Done, is it? Manisha? Ritika? Oh, there are only 4 transactions. You guys are taking too long.
Yes, sir. Done.
Done, okay. Ritika, could you please tell me the answer?
Sir, I got 1 lakh.
1 lakh. Okay, so that is, could you please basically tell me the bifurcation of the asset side?
Yes, sir. So in the asset side, we have cash,
Hmm.
prepaid salary, prepaid insurance.
Okay. So cash, advance salary, and prepaid insurance. All right. And could you please tell me the total value of the cash? Total value of the cash.
At the end, sir.
Yeah, at the end,
So it's 40,000.
it's 40,000. Just a second, let me calculate. 40, then 6. Okay. Yeah, it should be 40,000. That is right. All right. On the other side of the equation, could you please tell me the value of the capital?
So that is also 40,000.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this is the right answer, everyone. I'm sure everybody is able to solve it. Nobody having any problem. So with that, I think we are done with this topic for today. I'm giving you a few questions to try on your own. Kindly take the. In fact, I'll be sharing the PowerPoint with you. So make sure you try all these illustrations, illustration number 10, 11, 12, and these are there are a few questions as well in this topic. I want you to try them on your own. And if you face any difficulty solving these questions, uh, don't mind asking me in the next session. All right, make sure you ask your doubt in the next class relating to accounting patient. And I think, yeah, this is this is it for today's class, and in fact for this chapter. We won't be discussing any more question based on this topic. In the next session, we'll be starting a new topic for the purpose of revision. That will probably be, in fact, you tell me what chapter do you want me to cover? Tell me, Ritika, Vanisha, which chapter do you want me to cover?
GST.
So rules of debit and credit.
Rules of debit and credit. Yeah, GST will cover that part once we are done with the revision of few chapters, like 4, 5 chapters, and then we'll cover the GST section.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's just first of all do the revision of 4, 5 chapters, and then we'll get to that. The rules of debit and credit is an easy chapter. So if you want me to do that, I have no problem with that. But I think we should do some like some difficult chapter as compared to the rules of debit and credit. And also no problem. We'll first of all discuss rules of debit and credit, and then if time allows, we'll try to discuss one more time. All right, so this is it for today's session. Edukiran Pvt Ltd and Labiba. We'll see you in the next class, everyone, with new topic. Till then, take care. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.